Good evening. This is a sample retirement plan under certain assumptions, which I'll cover before we go into the outcomes. The first assumption is that, or the scenario is that we are talking about a situation with a married couple, age 46, with incomes totaling approximately $160,000 per year. The present value of each of the funds we'll discuss represents the current savings by account as of day one, which would be today. And we make certain assumptions. We assume that we're compounding our interest once per year at the end of each cycle, the end of each year, and additional contribution amounts listed below are annual. I've also done some things for simplicity purposes. What you'll find in the additional contributions category is that all additional contributions are lumped together, even though they may be going into different plans, and any kind of match or any kind of additional money that's coming in from outside of the couple's income is also included in that lump sum. Very basic principles for mathematic simplicity purposes. You'll notice that there's basically 4 accounts and a fifth one that is an income property. That income property is going to remain constant at $85,000 at maturity, and that's just an estimate. We'll see that in all scenarios we discuss. Essentially the couple is starting out and diversifying a portfolio, which includes a 401k plan, a Roth IRA investment plan, straight stock plan managed online, and then a cash account as well. So what you'll see is the starting amounts in each account respectively: $275,000, $40,000, $15,000 in the stock plan, and a cash balance of $5,000. So in our first scenario, we'll use it as a basis. The interest rate of return on each of the accounts is 4% and a 1.5% rate of return on the cash account. You'll also notice, again, compounding once per year. And we're also assuming this is going to be 13 years till retirement. That's going to give the couple a retirement age of 59 years old. So across the bottom, we've listed the total of the each balance, the balance of each account at age 59 at retirement age, and then a total of $1,347,000 cash at the end of those 13 years starting today. This discussion really just stays on individual personal savings. It doesn't include any discussion of Social Security income in retirement or withdrawal strategy or spending in retirement either. So if we go ahead and go to scenario 2, what you'll see down here is that we have a couple changes. The first change that you'll see is that only one change. So what we've changed here is we've kept the percent rate of return at 4%, but we've gone from 13 years down to 10 years in terms of retirement, which would make target retirement age in scenario 2 56 years old. And you'll see that there's an approximately $250,000 reduction from scenario 1 to scenario 2 because of the 3 years less that we're adding money and compounding it. So at retirement age, which will be 3 years lower, you're at $1,100,000. If we go ahead and take a look at scenario 3, scenario 3 is going to give us a situation where we are going back to the 13-year until retirement stage, but we've reduced the annual rate of return down to 1%. And if you look at this, you'll actually see that while maintaining the number of years, the reduction in the final principal for our plan is now down to $1,061,000. So the reduction is less by reducing the interest rate by 3% on the major accounts, as opposed to reducing the savings time to 3 years. So obviously with this one, interest rate's unpredictable, and it's good to look at what various rates of return will provide you. Of course, the lower the rate of return goes, if it goes negative, you're going to see a substantially lower final savings number at whatever retirement age that you might choose to target. And then finally, if we look at the fourth plan is going to give us a couple reductions here. We're gonna keep the retirement age. We're gonna actually drop the retirement age to 56, back to 10 years. And then you'll also notice here we've reduced the amount of additional contribution in each category in half. So obviously this is something that could happen if something comes up, that a job is lost, or you're working at a job that is not producing as much income, or you have certain expenses that are going to get in your way that you have to spend your money on. In lieu of make the choice to spend money on a certain expense like a household bill or health insurance or health coverage. And in this event, you're going to see significantly lower money, because not only are you reducing the number of years, you're also reducing the annual investment. And you'll see that the total return at retirement age in this case is $853,000, almost $500,000 less with those two changes in scenarios in that case. So what this really tells you is you need to have a plan. You should target to save as much as you can, but you also have to plan for variables which you may not know at this time. Variables such as a lower rate of return than you might have expected, variables such as certain expenses that'll come up which will limit you from saving as much as you want over the period of time until you retire. And then also variables in terms of when you want to retire. The longer you work, the more money that you'll have in retirement. Of course, the less years you're most likely going to have to retire, but the less expenses you're going to have to cover in a shorter period of time without actually having employment and having a job that you're going to every day.